There's a great article, op-ed, that this big, beautiful bill will end America's time as a great power. That this bill, like if China's leaders were sitting around trying to think of ways to undermine us,
they would write this.
This is exactly what they would have done. DOGE cuts to federal agencies responsible for scientific research, like National Science Foundation, NIH, already threatening America's hard-fought edge in fields like vaccine development, or AI, quantum computing. But this bill, more specifically, would more directly wreck the U.S. economy with a 25% cut to public R&D spending. Is set to reduce the GDP by an amount comparable to the decline during the Great Depression.
So guys, you see that, like, here, I go back to Trump being a Russian asset. Why would a man who is a billionaire in America want to fuck over America this bad? Right. The only reason would be is because somewhere else he's connected to something else. There's no reason for him to ruin the country. Do you know what this is going to do? What she just said, this is just part of it. All the technology that we invented, carbon fiber, whatever we invented, quantum, when Apple comes up with a computer chip that's 50 times faster, all that shit, he's cutting the funding to it. That's why Harvard is pissed off.
Well, that's next. Assault on higher education.
Because we led the world in tech for decades.
Assault on higher education, including the likely illegal war against Harvard, is chipping away at one of America's key exports in the crown jewel of its education system, colleges and universities. Waves of mass deportations are already making people scared to come here.
Right. So we get no
friends that we know have received a do not travel advisory into the United States.
So the brain trust we get. So we used to get the best people in the world would come to America to learn America. Because of that, we benefited from having the smartest people. Then we let them live here. So they became the best doctors. They became the best surgeons.
Started businesses here.
They started businesses. They became leaders in tech.
Things we could export.
And then
also just them coming here. Waves and waves and waves of students moving here.
Right.
I mean, that's a whole other part of immigration that is stopping.
He's
already blown a $12 billion hole in the U.S. tourism industry.
Yep, $12 billion. So now Disneyland, all these places that the world came to. The world came to our national parks. He sold those off. Yes, so the only thing I can think of, when you look at the list of shit he's done, and the reason he's doing it fast is what Bannon said, flood the zone. There is no upside to it for America or Americans.
Like, does he know that the aliens are coming? Like they don't just gonna.
He eviscerated USAID, permanently closed on Monday. That will fatally undermine America's soft power, which was once considered one of the greatest advantages of U.S. foreign policy.
USAID.
It closed on Monday. They ordered it closed. Yeah, it's gone.
100% closed.
Gone.
Holy shit.
So all presidents before him thought that was one of our greatest advantages, was soft power, that we helped other people in the world.
Let me explain this one more time. So do you understand that when we helped other countries, and here's the thing, we didn't just give money to other countries. Our farmers, we paid our farmers to grow billions of dollars of food. Then we packaged it up and we gave it to countries that needed our help. Now, those countries may have had a dictator. So because we helped them, we had guys that went in to help those people. 3 of those guys were CIA agents. They figured out what was going on in the country. Then we politically started to get it. Then we turned that country democratic. And then they became our allies. So now we had another power. That's why America has 600 bases around the world. So by fucking up USAID, you've now given China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, all these Saudi, all these fucking enemies of ours.
More territory,
because now they're going to go in and they're going to be the soft power. And they're going to install the guy they want to run shit. So you've now fucked us up internationally too.
Clean energy technology has been one of the fastest growing sectors of the U.S. economy. This bill will cripple that. Hundreds of billions of cuts in solar and wind subsidies. Also, the Senate phased out a tax credit for electric vehicles, which will do untold damage to that industry. That phase out happens on September 30th. Drivers only have a few months to buy an EV now before the subsidy expires. Also, because of that, millions of jobs would disappear. Energy prices would increase. Over long-term, clean energy companies, manufacturers of batteries and wind turbines, computer chip makers, electric car parts, clean energy economy, are just going to relocate overseas because all the funding is cut, all the subsidies are cut.
So again, we've actually stopped all the influx of people that could invent new tech. We've actually stopped all the new tech, the research for the new tech. That means companies that build new shit aren't going to get the money to actually go to the next level. Then we've actually said that all the stuff that needs new tech, all this clean energy stuff, better solar panels, better, more efficient cars, hydrogen power, all of that shit is going away. The only fucking reason you would want to do this as an American president is because you were not working for America. You were working for another country.
Reduces food stamp benefits, which will increase poverty and do lasting damage to the poorest and most vulnerable.
Because Republicans kill Americans.
And then, of course, the death knell, $5 trillion in tax cuts that only benefit the wealthiest. They will cut $1 trillion from Medicaid. That would be an estimated 11.8 million will lose health insurance. Rural hospitals and nursing homes will close, and an unknown number of fellow citizens will die.
51,000 extra people a year will die because of this bill.
You now have more physically and mentally sick Americans. Speaking of which, he just cut all mental health benefits from schools.
What did he do to veterans? Look
what he did to veterans housing.
Gone.
Yeah.
So again, I want to point this out. The only reason an American president would do this is because he wasn't hired or working for America. Do you get that? Yeah, you working for a guy who you've known since 1987.
Literally chipping away at institutions and policies
that made America great. Yeah, that made America great. Everything that made America great, he fucking killed. We became the
economic powerhouse over a long period of time. Did you hear them talking about on the news today on your way here about how long it would take to put it back together?
No.
To put Humpty Dumpty back together?
No. Like 2 decades.
At least.
Oh, fucking Christ.
They're saying at least. Because also you have to think all of these agencies now, if we did ever have an election, everyone's gone, and now it's filled with all these people that were drawn to that way of being and working. And it's trying to rebuild USAID alone, let alone everything else that he's destroyed, the Department of Education.
It's already cracked and crumbled.
But listen, what would it serve you to make sure that you didn't just fuck over starving kids in a third world country? You fucked over American farmers.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Yeah. All these companies that started in America, the one thing we've always been about is innovation, whether it's Apple or whoever. So you got these startups that are doing whether it's wind turbines or better solar panels, whatever, trying to compete with China, who spends a fuck lot of money on this stuff. You cut all that money. All you're doing is hurting America. You're hurting us internationally. You're hurting us here. Why the fuck would you're hurting our GDP. Why would you do that? The only reason you would fucking do that is because you weren't working for America, because you were working for somebody fucking else. Why would you cut off all the people that were attacked? Why would you cut off today? There was they're saying Ukraine needs these missiles, these not Scud missiles, Patriot missiles. They said, "No, we're not going to send you guys anymore." So that helps one person. Putin.